John, as you say, the book begins on the day you got a DUI, and you describe it as your shrink calling this time of your life a porpoise orgy, which I thought, what a way to describe a time in your life. But
Yeah.
I did find the chapter when you talked about where you started seeing a difference in your drinking when you were doing cabaret. And there was a night where it was like, oh, you would drink a little bit, you would have a bottle of wine, and it would be like, oh, I'm gonna try and make it last through the entire show.
Right.
And then it was just sort of, did it feel at that time like it was a slippery slope, or it was just when you became more aware of it?
Yeah, that's great. It was started to be that time. I could sort of handle it by then. My parents were alcoholics, and Jess knows how long you been sober now, Jess?
Since 95. So 28 years. 28 years. Just turned 28.
Congratulations. Oh, happy birthday.
Thank you.
It's a disease, and but it can be hereditary. And I think it was in my case. And I was like poking at it, like, I can drink. And then it goes, like, it just devours you. And it was sort of that around that time. I remember on ER, I told myself, if I drink during the day, I'm going to march myself right into an AA meeting and stop this nonsense. And I didn't. I could stop and start, but it was getting harder to stop. Right. And so cabaret. Yeah. And then I did 9 after that. And that was getting, blurry. And, it was just and I talk about it. So, hopefully people will. I made a lot of mistakes. A lot of the book is beautiful tributes to my mom and my dad and Gary Marshall. I had great mentors, Gary Marshall, Don Rickles, Jack Klugman. And so it's a love letter to them. And it's also something, I think, a love letter to my wife and to my son, because without them, I wouldn't be here right now. I don't think, I just made it. Indiana Jones, when the wall is coming down and he was running and they're shooting darts at him, and he grabs the whip and he slides right under the door, and the wall goes just barely. That was me with marriage and having a kid. I just got it in there right before the wall closed on me.
The thing that I didn't realize is, the DUI, which was a massive turning point in your life. I actually didn't know where that happened. It was on Rodeo Drive. There were like a bunch of tourists who saw you doing it, saw you weaving around, and they started screaming, "Uncle Jesse, pull over. You're really messed up."
Yeah, I think that's one
bizarre
of the in the book, right? Uncle Jesse, pull over. You're fucked up. I remember that. I remember them holding their phones out, and then that's about it. Our friend Jamie Lee Curtis the other day said, get a picture of you in handcuffs and put it on your wall in your office, and keep that there. I'm like, okay. It was a very dark, terrible time. And I wasn't the guy that I had no excuse, because I had a beautiful childhood. My parents were so kind and loving, and I became not the person that they raised. And I was disrespectful to my childhood, disrespectful to my family and friends. My friend told me, he said that my mom called him a little before she died. She said, "I'm so worried about Johnny. So worried about him." But there's a happy ending. There is a happy ending and a fairy tale ending, thank God. And when I straightened up and I realized I have so much more I could be so much better, and I should be who I am. And the honesty part, that was it. I mean, when you write a book, you either try to bullshit your way through it, which I started to do. And then I realized this is not right. And I came across a thought that anything less than the truth is paralysis. And so I said, okay, that's it. I'm just going to let it go. And I did.